Good day to all. Today our topic is crystal defects and plastic flow in crystals. In previous video we discussed about what is periodic table and then how what is meant by crystal structure and what are all the types available with the crystal structure. Today we can move for crystal defects and the plastic flow available in crystals. So, the crystal defects are the significant factors in crystals formation. So, the crystal defect can be classified it into four types. The types are point defects, line defects, stacking faults, and cold work. Here, what is point defect? Let's see. The point defects include vacant atom positions that are occupied in perfect crystals. Here you see the first sketch. The real crystal structure, there is no gap available, but in that first picture there is the void available in between the real crystals. This real void is known as the point defect. This vacancy, here there is vacancy available on the second row with the third column, there is vacancy available. These kind of vacancies are available with the crystal structure. These vacancies increases in numbers as temperature is increased, and by jumping about from one lattice side to another, they cause diffusion. That diffusion is called as the point defect. There are also many close pairs and clusters of points defects such as die vacancies, tri vacancies, and interstitial vacancy pairs available. Here the second diagram shows the interstitial vacancy. Already I told you what are all the types available with the crystal structure: interstitial, substitutional. Here the second diagram shows the interstitial vacancy and the third diagram shows you a substitutional vacancy. So that interstitial and substitutional point defects also available in crystal structure. And then fourth one, the foreign atom enter into the crystal structure, that also develops some defects. Okay, these are all the defects available with the crystal structure. Then second one is line defects. Line defects means dislocations or line defects that exist in real crystals. As this diagram, there is extra atom line available with the intermittent of real crystal structure. Due to that intermittent atomic line introduction into the real crystal structure, there is dislocations available at the edge side, which is known as edge dislocation. And edge dislocation, which is the edge of an incomplete plan of atoms within a crystal, is represented in the below cross section. So the line defects also available in crystal defects, which the line type of atoms enter into the normal real crystal structure, it may causes the dislocations. So which is also important, the line defects in crystal structure. And then the slip deformation. Not only line deformation, the next one is slip deformation also available. The slip deformation as shown in below figure, which is one of the another form of dislocation. Then line defect, the part of the slipped region near the right side where the displacement is parallel to the dislocation is called the screw dislocation. Okay, in this part, the crystal no longer is made of parallel planes of atoms. In previous slide, I show you a parallel planes of atom entrapment it into the real crystal structure. Here, not only the parallel planes of atom, instead it consists of a single plane in the form of a helical ramp. Here you see the fourth diagram, there is helical ramp lattice is available. As the slipped region spreads across the slip plane, the edge type portion of the dislocation moves out of the crystal, leaving the screw type portion still embedded. Let's say the mechanism of plastic flow by the slip process, which is actually flow by dislocation movement. So with this kind of slip deformation, the plastic flow occurs in a crystal. So now you are aware about what are all the defects and what is meant by plastic flow in crystal structure. And then dislocation. Already I told you what is meant by dislocation. With the aid of slip plane, I explained what is how the dislocation is occurred. Here, the displacement of the atoms occurs when a dislocation passes a point is described by a vector. It is also known as a Berger vector. The direction of the vector with respect to the dislocation line and the length of the vector with respect to the identity distance in the direction of the vector are the fundamental characteristics of a dislocation. So now you are aware about what is dislocation and what are the characteristics available with the dislocation. The perfection of a crystal lattice is restored after the passage of a dislocation, provided no additional defects are generated in the process. And then each dislocation that remains in a crystal is the source of local stresses. In the previous slide, I show you a shear stress, which is also one of the local stress. So the nature of these micro stresses is indicated by the arrows, and then arrows. From this, the dislocation, from the arrows direction, the dislocations are available. Okay, the arrow means, like you see, my cursor moves downward, which creates the crimp, and my cursor moves horizontal portions, it creates a non-constructive one. The up to down portion, it shows through a constructive type dislocation, and the right to left, which shows the non-constructive type dislocation. And then individual crystal grains which have different lattice orientations are separated by large angle boundaries. That boundaries is known as grain boundaries. In addition, the individual grains are separated by small angle boundaries into subgrains that differ very little in orientation. These subboundaries may be considered as arrays of dislocations. The dislocations boundary may be classified into tilt boundaries and the arrays of edge locations. Twist boundaries also available, or the arrays of screw dislocations. The tilt boundary by the series of edge dislocations in the vertical row. Already I show you a vertical and horizontal side. So the series of edge dislocations in the vertical row compared with the large angle boundaries, small angle boundaries are less severe defects. Abstract plastic flow less and are less effective as regions for chemical attack and segregation of alloying constituents. In general, mixed type of grain boundary defects are common. All grain boundaries are sinks into which vacancies or dislocations and can disappear and may also serve as sources of these defects. They are important factors in creep deformation. So then next defect is the stacking fault. The stacking fault are two-dimensional defects that are planes where there is an error in the normal sequence of stacking of atom layers. The stacking of atom layers in below yellow diagram, there is black dot available, then column row wise it arranged. That arrangement is known as the normal sequence, okay, of stacking atom layers. Stacking faults, here the stacking fault is occurred. The stacking faults may be formed during the growth of a crystal. The growth of a crystal forms the stacking fault, and they all may also result from motion of partial dislocations. Here you see the A, C, B available. These are all partial row atom elements. Here it may be changed from its location. A, B, again A, the new grain formation is available, new crystal formation is available, A atom structures, which may create this new growth may create the stacking fault. Here you see CBA available. That CBA converted it into ABA, the rounded portion with this sketch. Here you see CBA and it converts into ABA with the newly introduction of the atomic normal atomic sequence in the previously available perfect crystal, which may increase the stacking faults, which produces a displacement of a full distance between the lattice points, a partial dislocation process, a movement that is less than a full distance. And then the twins. Next defect is twins. Twins are portions of a crystal that have a certain specific orientation with respect to each other. The twin relationship may be such that the lattice of one part is the mirror image of that of the other. So the twins is formed as like a mirror copy. The already available atomic structure is mirrored with another form, which may create the twins in crystal structure. The one part may be related to the other by a certain rotation about a certain crystallographic axis. So with that crystallographic axis, the one part is mirrored and we can get the another part. The growth twins may occur frequently during crystallization from the liquid to the vapor state. The growth during annealing. Annealing means recrystallization or by grain growth process, or by the movement between solid phases such as during phase transformation. Classic deformation by shear may produce deformation twins. Twin boundaries generally are very flat, appearing as straight lines in micrographs, and are two-dimensional defects of lower energy than large angle grain boundaries. Twin boundaries are therefore less effective as source and sinks of other defects and are less active in deformation and corrosion than are ordinary grain boundaries. And then final one is cold work. What is meant by cold work in crystal structure? Let's see. The plastic deformation of a metal at a temperature at which annealing does not rapidly take place is called cold work. Annealing is the cooling process which is related to the temperature we can increase. After that we can introduce the air cooling, normal cooling, it gains to the room temperature, which is annealing process. So the cold work always follows the annealing process. That temperature depending mainly on the metal. As the amount of cold work builds up, the distortion caused in the internal structure of the metal makes further plastic deformation more difficult, and the strength and hardness of the metal increases. So with cold work we can increase the strength and hardness of the material with the aid of these kind of formations available with the crystal structure as a cold work with the annealing temperature. Thank you all.